Okay, so it's the Black Eyed Sue giveaway. Take 102. Action.
It only feels like 102. It really wasn't that many. When Elizabeth and I get together, crazy stuff happens. And one of the things that came out of when I was here, I think it was in July.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
We were looking at some of her work, and this was left over from when we took your watercolor paintings and I had them made into rice paper.
Oh, right.
This was one that I had sitting on my laptop, and I thought, that's too pretty to let it sit.
Right.
So here, you show. It's your work.
It is Black Eyed Susan's watercolor illustration. These are one of my two favorite flowers. The other ones are zinnias. So I have these growing in my backyard, and I sketched them in my sketchbook with pen and ink and watercolor wash and a little bit of collage text under here. And Barb blew it up and made it into a rice paper that we are adhering to a beautiful gesso board, hand embellishing. I am signing, and we're giving them away.
We're not only giving them away, all right, so here's my face. Them is 25 of them.
25 of these babies.
We don't know when we're going to be giving them away.
We don't?
We haven't planned that yet. Remember, we've planned a lot of things, but not this one. So down below, we'll make some notes, or we'll put something along the bottom of the video that tells you when and what the parameters are. It'll probably be, if you spend $50, that counts as an entry, a qualified entry, and every order that you submit will also count as an entry, as long as you, again, spend that $50. But in terms of the when, I don't know yet.
$50 other than gift certificates.
Listen to you, want a job?
Yes, I do. I have enough jobs.
Yeah, I know.
But yes, other than gift certificates, and not postage costs don't count towards that either.
That's right, yes. Shipping doesn't count. It's just product total. Thank you very much. I appreciate
You're
your help.
welcome. I remember these things. We've done them a few times before.
We have, yeah, I've said that enough.
Yeah, so they're all, we assembly lined them, and we had fun making them and embellishing them, and we are going to show you how we did it.
Yep, we are.
So let's show them.
All right.
All right. So Barb and I wanted to share with you how we created the 25 pieces that are part of the promotional giveaway. Because if you wanted to create your own, you can purchase the rice paper sheet and the other products that we used, and you could make your own if you are not lucky enough to win one that is created and signed by me. So what we're working with is the full sheet of the Black Eyed Susan rice paper, and it is sized for an 8x10 board with a little bit extra running off the edges. And we used these fantastic Museum Series panels by Ampersand. They're gesso board panels. They're primed and ready to go. And they have a really nice surface to glue onto. It has a good sort of texture that glues on really nice. And the bright white background keeps the colors from the rice paper really vibrant, because the rice paper is partially translucent. You can see that. You can see the gesso board type through it. So you need to be careful that if you want to keep the colors really bright and vibrant, it should go on a white background. So we adhered that to the gesso board panel with my favorite glue brush and some gel medium. And then there's a little bit that overhangs. I'm not going to make you watch me glue. But there's a little bit that overhangs, and your best bet is to put it on a cutting mat and just take an X-Acto blade. Once it's completely dry, you have to let it dry completely, otherwise it's going to pull it. So cut it the next day or a few hours later. And you just zip the X-Acto blade around the edges, and then you have your rice paper adhered to this panel. And the nice thing about this panel is it's rigid, so you can frame this, or you can leave it unframed and lean it, put it on a shelf. So one thing that we did was we enhanced the red dots with some glittery ink, and it's a F&W Pearlescent, and the color by Daler Rowney, and this color is, do we know what it is?
Is it Hot Mama something or Volcano something?
Hot Mama, that's a good color.
One of them has a name.
Yeah, Hot Mama Red. We picked that intentionally. This is good. So what I did, and Barb and I did, was we took a small little brush and we dabbed some few dots of this. Mine is splatter that was on here, but the tricky thing about splatter is it definitely does get everywhere. So if you want to splatter, I suggest you go outside or be in a contained environment, which we are not here. So your second option is we just took a pointed brush I'm using one of my Velvet Touch brushes and just dabbed a few dots of the red where we wanted it, and they do look like splatter, and they blended in with the other splatters. So what I liked about this was it was pearlescent, and it was very similar to the red color in the background. So then the next thing we did was we used the DECO foil liquid adhesive for applying foil in some, just some highlight spots. You could do more or less, but we just did it in a few highlighted areas. So I did like the top 2 petals here, and the center of this flower, the center of this one, and 2 petals here. And I'm just scribbling with the adhesive. It's super easy. You don't have to be accurate. It's okay if you go outside of the lines. Then when you put the foil in, you don't need perfect coverage. It's really great because it's very forgiving and gives you a nice accent without stress. And nobody wants any stress. So I put that in these 2 petals like that. And again, I'm just scribbling a little bit and wipe that out of the center there. And then we use 2 different colors of foil. So we're using a gold foil and a brown foil. So we're using the brown in the center of the Black Eyed Susans. And that is this one, DECO foil transfer sheet. It is, does it say what color it is?
You turn it.
Bronze. Yeah, so that's sort of a nice brownish bronze we use for the centers. And then this one, oh my goodness, I love this one. This is gold, but it is gold shattered glass. So you can see the effect of the gold shattered glass. It has all this sort of holographic kind of chunks in it, which makes it very sparkly. And the bronze, by nice contrast, is pretty straightforward. So once the glue dried, this is the dry one, yeah?
Yes.
Sort of.
Yeah, it's almost dry.
There we go. You just rub I start with the centers and try to keep the transfer foil off of the petals area, otherwise you'll get brown in the petals. So I just angled this for those 3 centers, just kind of kept it away from the petals, and just rubbed it with the front of my fingernails. If that bugs you, you could use the bowl of a spoon or something else, but I just rubbed it with the front of my fingernails, and you can see how it really just grabs on there in that kind of fun abstract scribble. Then I'm going to come in with the gold and
remember where the glue is.
Try to remember where the glue is, yeah. And then the same thing, I'm just rubbing it with the fronts of my fingernails. And then you can just give it a rub with your finger to make sure you don't have any sticky spots of glue that you didn't get foil on, because those spots that are still sticky can be problematic. So you want to make sure you get them all covered up with foil. So again, I'm just going to give it a little feel here, make sure I got it all. And then I have these 2 up here. And a lot of times we do this in a more accurate application. So this kind of fun scribbly application was fun and different. Okay, so feeling, making sure that's all of it. So look at how beautiful that foil, the gold and the bronze look on the flowers. And like I said, you could do more or less. You could do all the petals if you wanted to. But we thought this was a nice accent along with the little pink splatters of the metallic ink. And I signed all of them. This is an actual, what they call a wet signature. That's a new term. My disability insurance would not take a digital signature. They said they wanted a wet signature.
Really?
Yeah, so that's what they did. So this is a wet signature. This is not printed in the paper. This is signed on top of all of them by me with a micron pen. So there you go. So if you wanted to make one yourself, it's not that difficult, and I hope you have fun with it.
You need to come a little closer, sister.
Okay, how's that?
That's better.
It's only because I'm twice as big as you. I'm out of the frame.
You are not. You're taller than me. You're not wider than me.
Yes, I am. Look, my dad used to tell me that I had linebacker shoulders.
I got nothing to say.
It's true. And he also told me that I had U-boats for feet. Yes. Very, very complimentary my dad was to my big shoulders and my big feet. But however, I sat in front of a guy in college. I haven't thought about this in a long time. I sat in front of a guy in college who said to me one day, he tapped me on the shoulder and he goes, "Jesus, I wish I had shoulders as big as yours." I was like, wow, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Remind me not to talk to you anymore.
Right?
Right. Anyway, it's completely off topic.
Yes.
I guess
But
we're
Black
done
Eyed
with
Sue-
this.
Yeah, we're pretty much done with that. You can tell we're getting to the end here because we are definitely getting punchy and my hair refuses to stay out of my face.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just one of those days.
Yeah, so the Black-Eyed Sue, Brown-Eyed Girl
Oh, Van
giveaway.
Morrison.
Yes.
Yeah, he probably should take his name in vain. Probably
Right.
shouldn't have said that, but oops.
Oops. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed seeing how we created these. I hope that you throw your hat in the ring to win one or two, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And we'll see you here next week.
All right. Bye.